Hi, I'm Jo Mifsud and I am the producer for I Am Nowhere. What drew me to I Am Nowhere in terms of storyline was the kind of exploration of community and how that changes due to an external factor. I find it interesting that it essentially shows people going back to basics and people having to rely on people and each other or themselves to even do the basic of things, eating, sleeping, sort of being human, as it were. I really enjoy the fact that I Am Nowhere also has very strong female characters, which is, I suppose, at the moment in the current circumstances within the industry, that is just automatically appealing to me as a producer, as a female producer. It just gives us a chance to show how women would portray, like how women would survive under some extremely extraordinary and serious circumstances. I don't think we see that enough on film. I feel very privileged to be able to show that to people. I wanted to make I Am Nowhere because I wanted to explore what I would be like under those circumstances. So you see these characters and they have to automatically, like without fail, cut out social media, cut out the use of technology instantly for survival. So when you think about how many times a day you pick up your phone just to even look at the time, you automatically can't do that anymore in this scenario. And I wonder as a person whether I could do that. So I think it's kind of given me a little incentive to explore that for myself. In terms of production, I think the obvious obstacle we have at the moment is the pandemic. And basically from March, when we started reading and working I Am Nowhere, you instantly have to start thinking about resources, how things are going to end up being filmed, how you'd film them, where you'd film them, crew sizes. Just so many little things are automatically kind of made to be much bigger and much more difficult to work because of such a wide-changing scenario like COVID-19. So instantly you're thinking about limitations on how many people you can have behind the camera, how close they can be, how talent work in front of the camera, how close they can be to one another, how close they can be to the crew, things like that. And it kind of instantly makes even a small, what seems like a relatively easy scene to film, say 2 people on a beach, like the promo, becomes this massive, complex maneuver of making sure everyone is socially distant, making sure the public are safe, making sure equipment is completely, constantly sterilised and re-sterilised, and all these things that you used to take for granted on a normal set are now up in the air and having to be reworked and reimagined and all sorts of things. With I Am Nowhere, you have an opportunity to really strip back what you use and how you film it and still add, you don't essentially lose anything of the story because you're trying to show how pared back their scenario is in the story alongside having to film it pared back and in a simplistic way. There's good and bad things about having this pandemic, and one of the good things that comes out of it is that we get to really hone our craft as storytellers by having limited access to equipment, to people, to resources. And I think we should, I feel I Am Nowhere should be funded because I think it has a story that needs to be out there. I think it's something we all think about from time to time. What would it be like without technology? Or how would we survive without technology? And I think it's a good enough story to sort of get that out there and then get people talking about it more. I think indie films is having a bit of a renaissance at the moment because you can enjoy the high blockbuster, high-end scenario quite easily, and it's a definite form of escapism. But it's really nice to see hard work, sweat, tears, kind of the sense of building a story together from a small group of people, from a social bubble as we are, because we're all friends as well as people who work in this industry. Watching that, you kind of get a bit more of a love for film. And I feel like if anyone has that love for short films or low, no budget work, I feel you'd get some sort of sense of connection by funding a project that is looking for help in that way. So you kind of you're giving back to a thing that you love, and I think that's quite nice.